So the truth is, it is never too late to make things better. It is never too late to make things worse. And in chaos lies opportunity. And yeah, I'm not happy about a lot of things, but that's above my pay grade, right? And it's above your pay grade. So here, what can you do? You can embrace digital transformation of education and engagement via Zoom or YouTube or Twitter. You can engage, and you can embrace digital property in the form of Bitcoin and think really hard about it and what it means to you. Because, if you had engaged digital property when Bitcoin was $4,000 a coin, where are you right now? Right? While the world was coming to an end. Here's the thing. Bitcoin's $10,000 and on Black Thursday, it crashes by 5,000 a coin. And while you think the world is coming to an end, you could do nothing. And doing nothing would have been a good idea because you can make things worse. Making things worse would have been to sell, panic sell, right? You could have done nothing. Or when you did panic sell, you could have thought about it for a bit and you could have said, well, in this universe of uncertainty where it's difficult to move things around, maybe the one thing that I want to own is something which is digital that I can move on a crypto rail. And then you would have bought at 4,500 a coin or 5,000 a coin. And if you couldn't figure out either of those, you had the next 6 months, Bitcoin trades between 8,000 and 10,000, 12,000 all the way through September, October. You had 6 months where you could get on the train. And if you're not sure what the world consists of, the analysis I did is like, I looked at everything and I said in June and in May, and I said, well, look, Amazon just doubled in price. Amazon stock doubled in price. It went from 1,800 to like $1,700, $3,400 a share. Obviously, the world thinks they've recovered, right? My 20-something niece is, telling me how Amazon stock is a good idea and she's buying it. I'm like, this is the same niece that I wrote the mobile wave about when she's like 9 or 8 years old, I guess. She said, Mike, I want the Big Apple for Christmas. And I said, the Big Apple, you want me to take you to New York? And she goes, no, the iPad. And I thought, well, like kids are running around asking for iPads, calling it the Big Apple. And that's the future, right? The future is the iPad, not New York City. But at the point that every 20 something is telling you that they're going to trade on Robinhood and buy Amazon stock, you're not really the visionary anymore, right? You're not getting a 10x upside. So when I looked around in May and June, I said, well, the big tech trade is over. Everybody in the world understands Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. There's not much more juice to squeeze out of that idea. Like, it's not that you couldn't hold it, but it's a conventional idea. It's not an unconventional idea. And so, when Zoom stock, increased by a factor of 10 or whatever during the lockdowns, that, it's clear the world figured it out. But what is it the world did not embrace following the lockdowns? And the answer is Bitcoin. Like, I looked at Bitcoin in May and Bitcoin's trading the same price it was 2 years earlier. It's like 10,000. I'm like, okay, I just got 2 years of extra development on this asset class. It's a lot less risky today, right? Fidelity was custodian. You had all the institutional adoption. You could see the hedge funds were coming. You could see some of the macro investors were talking about. So I'm like, well, it's more mature. It's 2 years outside the block size wars, right? We're past the block size wars. So this is a much less risky asset. It's much more mature. And then the use case, the reason you would want it is much more obvious today, which is you need a digital gold.